From a man accused of domestic violence.
It's alleged that on February 28th that you assaulted someone you had a dating relationship. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up
to another facing charges for extreme drunk driving.
The affidavit indicates that the defendant was very intoxicated. His pants were unzipped and it appeared that
these cases reveal how Judge Middleton holds offenders accountable, starting with Mr. Harvey, a repeat abuser now facing domestic assault charges against his partner.
Push on the plaintiff's side because he's got some mobility issues, but that won't affect anything. Good morning, Mr. Harvey.
Good morning.
This is file number 25366SM. People versus James Jonathan Harvey. And that's you, sir. It's alleged that on February 28th that you assaulted someone you had a dating relationship with, Kylie Wilma, commonly known as domestic assault or domestic violence. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Is he going to be eligible for a deferral?
That's one of the questions. We're going to set up for a last pretrial, Your Honor.
Oh, I thought it was set for
It's not a plea.
I misunderstood.
Here. There's some question if he has a prior domestic violence or not. That's something Mr. Robert and I will be looking into. He may be eligible for the deferral if he doesn't have one.
All right. I thought it was a no contest plea. All right, Mr. Harvey, where are you staying?
At my uncle and brother's house.
I think you told me that at your arraignment. Miss Wilma is at the Riverside Townhouses?
Correct.
Are you on the lease there?
No, I'm not.
All right, so you probably shouldn't be there anyway. You're going to get her kicked out.
She may be contacting you on the bond conditions. Mr. Harvey realizes there's nothing he can do about those conditions.
All right, well, she can contact the prosecutor. We did a hearing the other day on those. All right, once again, each time you've been in, Mr. Harvey, you've been very well dressed and on time and appropriate, and tell you're taking this matter seriously, but I thought there was an old one somewhere. There was an assault and battery. I guess that was one of the questions, is whether that would, I think that's the question, whether the A and B would prohibit a deferral. I should know the answer to that, but
I don't think it does, but I'm not willing to put my reputation on the
yeah,
line
we
to
better
say
get it
that.
straight. All right, we'll set a last pretrial on a Thursday afternoon.
Thank you, Judge.
You're good to go, sir.
This time, we have Mr. Lopez facing charges for drunk driving without a license, and to make it worse in the snowstorm too.
290 and 291. The defendant is Luis Manuel Rita Lopez. He is here with his lawyer, Casey Strong. It is alleged that on February 15th here in St. Joseph County, that he was driving a vehicle with a high blood alcohol level. He also had no valid driver's license, and he had open alcohol in the vehicle. The most serious of those charges is the charge of operating a vehicle with a high blood alcohol level.
El más grave de estos cargos es conducir un vehículo con alto nivel de alcoholemia.
That's a misdemeanor. That crime is punishable by up to 180 days in jail, a fine of up to $750, 6 points on your driving record, and the suspension of your driver's license. The prosecutor, as I understand it, has offered to dismiss all of the charges.
Según lo que tengo entendido, el agente del Ministerio Público está dispuesto a desestimar todos los cargos
if you plead guilty to operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated or with an unlawful blood alcohol level.
o con un nivel de alcoholemia ilegal.
Ms. Strong, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Plead a 1 OUIL, dismiss everything else.
Un OUIL y desestimar todo lo demás.
All right. Is that your understanding, Mr. Huerta Lopez? You're going to plead the operating while intoxicated?
Señor Heretia López, ¿eso es su comprensión del acuerdo? No one.
And you signed the advice of rights indicating that you're waiving your right to have a trial. That is in Spanish. Did you read and understand that?
Yes.
Let's take a look at this. You got a ticket on February 15th in the city of Sturgis.
Usted recibió una multa el 15 de febrero en la ciudad de Sturgis.
At Lakeview and Fawn River.
Sobre la Lakeview con la Fawn River.
Were you driving a car at that time?
Yes.
And where were you going?
¿A dónde iba? When they stopped me when I had been drinking,
Yes.
I was going to take a friend and drop her off at her house.
Where were you coming from?
It was snowing. I lost control of the vehicle and I went off the road.
What were you drinking?
Beer,
Modelo. How many do you think you had?
a 12 pack.
Well, that would probably do it.
Eso lo haría.
Your blood alcohol, according to the ticket, was 0.172. Was there a test after that, Ms. Strong?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was that one?
The defendant and I reviewed the MSP lab report, which shows 0.190 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood.
That is more than 2 times the legal limit, and I will accept your plea. Ms. Strong, I don't know if I have you set for anything yet. Later this month, let's take a look.
As long as we avoid Mondays, I'm happy.
Are you making a joke or are you?
No, I'm serious. Mondays are civil days in Kalamazoo, so.
Mondays are the day we do our sentences.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's see what we got for special Casey Strong.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Vivian.
That's okay.
Casey does an excellent job of waiting until the question is interpreted before they ask the next question. Casey, are you available on Wednesday, May 7th?
I will make sure I am.
Estamos viendo si está disponible la licenciada el miércoles 7 de mayo.
Vivian, are you available that day?
I'm pretty sure I am. I haven't started scheduling into May yet.
We do have a few Wednesday sentence slots.
Yes, I'm available.
All right. I'm going to ask you to take this out to the counter. And they will give you information about coming back on May 7th for the sentence. They're going to prepare a screening report, and I will see you at that time.
Your Honor, is that May 7th at 11 o'clock then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, señoría.
All right, thank you. Does anybody else need services of an interpreter? That's our only case this morning.
Now for the last case, we have Juan Carlos, a man who got extremely drunk and chose to drive, misbehaved terribly, and claims he forgot his actions, expecting leniency. Let's see how the judge handles this.
Del caso que está delante de nosotros.
It is entitled People versus Juan Carlos Martinez Proa.
Se titula Juan Carlos Martínez Proa.
He is charged with operating with a high blood alcohol level and open intoxicants in a motor vehicle. The most serious charge is operating with a high blood alcohol level. That's punishable by up to 180 days in jail, a fine of up to $500, $750, excuse me. 6 points on your license and the suspension of your license. The open intoxicants charge is a misdemeanor.
El otro cargo de tener recipiente abierto en el vehículo es un delito menor.
We had a very similar case a little while ago. If you plead to operating while intoxicated as a first offense,
Si usted contesta culpable de conducir en estado de ebriedad primera vez,
that is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, a fine of up to $500, 6 points on your driver's license, and your license will be suspended. Now, you have before you an advice of rights. It's in Spanish. Have you had a chance to look at that? What it says, well, I'll let you read it. All right. Do you understand that by entering this plea to operating while intoxicated, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial?
en el cargo de conducir en estado de ebriedad, está renunciando a su derecho de llevar el caso a juicio. Yes.
And all the rights that are on that form. Do you understand? You have to speak your answer. Did
Yeah.
anyone threaten you to get you to plead to this charge? All right. Or promise you anything to get you to plead to this charge?
No.
Last September 13th, the police went to an address.
He does not have clear memory of what happened.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bush. I forgot. Let's talk about that.
Por no contest o no refutar los cargos.
When you plead no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny it.
Cuando uno contesta no contest, o sea, sin refutación, uno no admite que tampoco lo niega que lo ha hecho.
One of the reasons for a no contest plea is that you don't remember what happened.
Una razón por la cual uno responde en inglés no contest o no refutar los cargos es porque uno no recuerda que lo que había pasado.
So I would get my factual basis from the affidavit that was sworn to by the police officer. Do you understand?
Yes,
And do you plead no contest to this charge?
no
Is that
contest.
correct?
Correcto?
The affidavit indicates that the defendant was very intoxicated. In the early morning hours, the police officers got sent to Park Street and Newman Avenue in Sturgis.
A las altas horas de la madrugada, la policía fueron enviados a la Park Street con la Newman Street.
For a man, the keys were in the ignition and the van was running. It appears that the defendant got out of the van and stood next to it. His pants were unzipped and it appeared that somebody had urinated in the road.
Tenía el cierre de los pantalones abierto y aparentemente alguien había orinado en la calle.
Then he fell down and hit his head. Then they took him to the hospital where he was treated and they withdrew his blood. There were several Modelo beer bottles in the car. We heard a lot of Modelo today. It's currently the best-selling beer in America, having surpassed Bud Light. Mr. Bush, did we get a blood test result from the laboratory?
It was 0.263, Your Honor.
All right, that would do it. Let's pick a date for the sentence that works for Mr. Bush. I've got a lot of things set. Mr. Bush, are you available Monday, May 12th at 11?
I believe I am, Your Honor. This is the first I've tried to use the computer system since my accident, and it's not responding. I apologize.
All right, well, we'll set it, and if there's a problem, we'll let us know. You're usually
Vamos.
available Monday, May 12th at 11.
The defendant has an intake, I believe, scheduled at Pivotal next week.
Very good.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bush, I could not hear that.
He has an intake set at Pivotal for next week.
Thank you.
I want you to take this form out to the counter. Vivian, same thing. See if you're available on May 12th. All right. I will see you on the morning of May the 12th. Stay in contact with your lawyer and let him know of any change in address or number. All right, you're good to go.